everybody. Come on in, come on in, come on in. It's been a little while. We have missed you. Welcome back to Let's Talk with Maggie and Lucy, the best kept secret on the internet. For anybody new here, hi, I am Maggie. Maggie is substitute teacher. Lucy and I are the proud founders of the Finishing School for the Modern Woman, which is our flagship course. Registration is open. We'll start again in January. You can go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com and use code Maggie. In the Finishing School, we teach women of all ages how to be the best version of themselves, leading with femininity, elegance, and etiquette. But what we also like to do is give back to the community. So usually twice a week, unless one of us is traveling, Lucy and I come here to either react to relationship content. I wanted to do something a little bit different tonight. I'm very excited. This time of year is an excitement for a lot of us and a fear for a lot of us as well. So I'll tell you what we're going to talk about in a moment. But Lucy, please introduce yourself and let us know your thoughts about the topic tonight.
Hi, Maggie. Hi, everyone. We missed you, Maggie. So hopefully this topic will be something that, at least for me, the introvert is going to be helpful, especially if you are either in a relationship with somebody that is more extroverted and you're going to be required to attend these special holidays. So this specific session is going to teach us, especially introverts, how to maneuver in those high stress situations for us, because extroverts have no idea how much, for us introverts, how much energy it takes for us to socialize that way, especially in these holiday parties filled with everything, lights, music, people. To us introverts, that is a lot, and it drains us. So this is going to be a great session for everybody, especially introverts.
I love it. So let me give you all a little bit of context, and then we're going to get right into it. So we are going to be reviewing the Party Master's Guide. This is an ebook. It's about 20 pages, and it's from Sarah Bodenova. Sarah is the founder of the Femininity Project. She actually found me online, and that clip that went viral, I was wearing this. And she reached out to me, and I instantly had a connection, been taking her courses. She was actually our first guest speaker in the Finishing School of the Modern Woman. Lucy and I will teach 7 sessions, and then we always bring an expert on to teach the ladies as well. So if you're going to be joining us in January, you get access to all the previous guest speakers. Sarah is a former ballroom dancer. So she specializes in body movement, feminine movement, and she loves a party. So she's put together a guide, which I think will be really helpful. Those of us, admittedly, never met a stranger. I'll strike up a conversation with anyone. However, I am aware that not all women feel the same way. Some of you, like Lucy, are introverts. Some ladies are just socially awkward. The times that we live in, this is what people do. And being able to have a conversation and make small talk and bring people together, I think is a very feminine skill that unfortunately a lot of us in the modern age have lost. So we are going to share, with permission, we are going to share some highlights from Sarah's ebook. And as you can see in the banner, she has given us a 20% off code, which is Maggie20, for anything in her store. She has courses, she has this ebook. I highly, highly recommend. And she's even coming out with her own community called the Feminine Collective. So you can see more about it in the bottom. But we are going to go ahead and get started. If you all have questions, we will try to answer them for you. But I want to go ahead and see what tangible tips we can give to you all. Again, the holidays are coming up, depending on when you're watching this and what you celebrate. And it is a very important time, ladies, like Lucy said, if you're in a relationship. I'll tell you, my man told me men don't really get too concerned about these events But what does make them concerned is when the boss says, bring your lady, I'd like to introduce her to the wives. So ladies, if you are interested in a relationship, being able to work the room and feel comfortable and confident and feminine is a huge skill set that I think you can learn. All right, everybody. So I have linked Sarah's website in the description. It's also in the banner, the Femininity Project Inc.com. All right, so let's see here. Let's go through the ebook. I'm not going to read it word for word, but there's some sections in here that I think will really, really be helpful. So again, this is the Party Master's Guide to Socializing and Networking. And let me just say this for those of y'all who think, what's the big deal? A lot of business is done at social events. A lot of, how do you say, putting people together is done at social events. It could be the in-laws, it could be an investor, it could be a job opportunity. So these soft skills really are important. Before we begin, would you add anything to that, Lucy?
And one of the things I loved about Sarah is the way that she put together the training. She's very methodical, and she had all the items ready to go. There was never hesitation about the content that she was presenting. She knows her stuff. So this is something that for me as a trainer, as a presenter, as a teacher, we pay attention to how information is presented, especially if it's your own content. You better know your stuff, and she absolutely does.
Yeah, she absolutely does. She just had a free masterclass. I posted it on all my pages called The Feminine Blueprint for 2025. Those of us who want to continue to do the work. And like Lucy said, she hit it out of the park. She's a wonderful teacher. Could not recommend her more. All right, so we're going to look at her Party Master's Guide. So this is Sarah Badenova, like I said, former ballroom professional, semi-finalist. Now she's an instructor and she's helped hundreds of women. All right, so we're going to talk about what happens this time of year. And she's broken her guide into 3 parts, basically before the event, at the event, and after the event. All right, so again, I've linked this in the description and you can get 20% off with code Maggie. I love this quote that she has here from Abraham Lincoln. Give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, and I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe. So ladies, what that means, no, we're not chopping down trees here, but preparation is a huge part of your elegant journey. Now, again, Lucy and I come from traditional backgrounds. We believe in boys and girls, men and women, husbands and wives, mom and dad, in that order. And one of our natural gifts as women is to be that social glue, that one that kind of makes everybody feel warm and welcoming, if that's who you want to be when you enter the space. So one of the things that we teach the ladies, and I teach in coaching as well, is you don't want to wait for the moment to happen and then you're like a deer in the headlights. What do I do? Whether you're invited out to a dinner party or whether you're going to a formal event, preparation is key, and that's what we want to teach you all today. All right, let's go back in here. So let's get ready to sharpen our axe. All right, so the pre-drinks, you all can read about this, but I want to take a moment to look at this section here. So Sarah is explaining in her guide that all of us feel differently in different environments. So I am going to read through this list. And she says, look through this list and rate each activity as whether you feel like you would be winning, neutral, or in survival mode. All right. So winning means if you're in this environment, you are in your element. You can talk shop, you feel comfortable, you can be yourself. These are the type of environments where you really feel your best. Consider that to a neutral environment. You don't love it, you don't hate it, you just have to be there. Let's get the job done. And then the environments that make you lock up. you're in survival mode. You feel nervous, maybe you sweat a little bit, maybe you're shaky a little bit. I want to go through this list and I want you ladies to really think about your first initial reaction to these environments, and we'll talk about why after. So you can put it in the chat or you can share it with yourself, but Lucy and I will probably do this exercise with you all. All right, so the first one she has here is a restaurant. I already know how I feel. A coffee shop, a bar, a Zoom meeting, an online forum. What about going to the gym, a workout class, a sporting event, going for a walk, a networking event, a cocktail party, an intimate dinner, black tie, a concert, or a party? So I want to pause there. I'm going to ask you, Lucy, did you see some events that you're like, yeah, I feel really good about those spaces? And did you see some events that you were like,
Yep.
just
So the intimate dinner, I love. The networking event, nope. That's for an introvert. That's like showing the cross to a vampire, because again, that is us spending a lot of energy trying to chit chat and just smile and spend a lot of energy. We can do it. Trust me, I've done it. But at the end of that session, I need a quiet room somewhere or 3 days to recuperate that battery that was drained completely in that networking event. It's when they put you at work, when they say we have a group activity. That to us, it's like, here we go. It is. It's like, oh my, activity together. We have to, and it's because it's that extroverts, you feed off of that energy. Oh my God, the more people, the merrier. And for us, the more people, get us away from there. Get us away. We do not like it. And that's how we're wired.
I absolutely love that. So for me, you all know anything with a menu, right? So I'm great at a restaurant, a coffee shop, a bar, a cocktail party. Formal, I start to get a little nervous because I don't think I'm that fancy. I love a concert or a party. This stuff in the middle, going to a sporting event, the gym, the workout class, or you all know me, anything with animals, it's a wrap. Now, why did we go through this experience? Ladies, it's really important to know where you feel more comfortable, and it's important to know where, okay, I'm going to have to really prepare, because the tools that we're going to give you, that Sarah gives you in this guide, you're going to need to make sure that you are prepared, especially when you're going into those arenas where you don't feel comfortable. So you have your topics of conversation, so you have your little emergency elegance kit or whatever. You want to make sure that you don't just show up and be like, yeah, I'll wing it, and then you're in the corner like, please make it stop. All right. So definitely be aware. Also, ladies, if you want to be a wife one day, part of that is being able to host people. The holidays are coming up. It could be a baby shower. It could be anything. So you want to make sure, if you are hosting something, that you show up as a good host as well. And you want to think about the different environments where you can thrive and be comfortable. All right. You don't want to have your vampire to a cross moment. All right, let's continue on and see what else she has. So definitely be thinking about that. And when you all start getting those invitations, consider the environment. How do you naturally feel? All right. So another thing that Sarah talks about in this ebook is about your brand. All of us have a brand, whether you realize it or not, ladies. Your brand is how you show up consistently to other people. It encompasses so many things, how you physically look, how you carry yourself, how you speak, your reputation, but all of us are making an imprint on other people. The good thing is you can be in control of that, and you can change it if you want to. So some of the questions that Sarah wants us to think about for events specifically, but I would say also in general, how do you want to look when you show up to an event? Do you want to blend in? Do you want to stand out? You can look at some of the adjectives here. How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel comfortable? Do you want to be kind of that mysterious woman in the corner? I don't know. Do you want to jump through the door and say, all eyes on me? How do you want to show up? Do you want to be pleasant? Do you want to be energetic? Why is this important? Once you know the vision that you have for yourself, like she says here, you can start doing the work to make it a reality. So that means if you know, like Lucy said, you got a limited battery, all right, we're going to this family reunion and I can only do like 2 hours, you're going to have to start working backwards from that. Maybe that means a nap earlier in the day. Maybe that means your schedule is a little bit lighter earlier in the week so that you can prepare. Maybe you wear something that's a little bit more comfortable instead of trying to dress to the nines and then you are scrunched up in the face because you're uncomfortable. So you really want to think about your brand and how it's going to show up in other environments. What would you add, Lucy?
And also part of that preparation, especially if like, I'm going to put myself in that introverted side, because those are stressful situations. Also working out before you know that you're going to have a dinner date or something later on, that working out gets your body just, all that anxiety has been drained during your workout. So again, you can do some walking, some activity before you find yourself in that situation. And again, give yourself, how many hours are you going to be able to be in that high energy situation and be ready? You can say, like I tell my husband, I only have 2 hours. And I think that once I either come in and rub your back while you're talking to other people, that's a sign that we need to go. And, that's the kind of negotiating that you can do when you're going to be going out with somebody that has all of those networking activities and is showing you as the wife.
I absolutely love that, y'all. Lucy is so self-aware. And yes, ladies, that's so important. So before she goes to the event, she has a plan with her husband. Okay, how are we going to communicate with each other when I'm starting to wind down? You know your natural disposition. You know if you're the type of person who can close the party down. You also know if you're the type of person who's like, okay, I have had enough. So the fact that you have a personal brand and you want to maintain it, you don't want to be remembered for the wrong reasons, right? These are some of the things that we teach in the finishing school, especially in our social skills section, right? So I would advise too, if you know you're somebody who has a limited bandwidth for all these people and it's loud and it's bright, when you arrive and you're refreshed, that is the time that you make a beeline to the host, greet them first, thank them first. If there's any special people or dignitaries or the boss or the CEO or holiday party, make sure you go and greet that person while you're at your best. And then before you start getting a little bit crunchy, make an elegant exit. So ladies, you can do better. Let's go back in and see what else Sarah has to say. All right. So we talked about how you want to show up. You do have a personal brand. The next section she talks about in the ebook is her lookbook. And this is something that I have had to work on. So this again comes down to planning. She's got some really good tips in here that I want to highlight for you all. And then we'll do a little bit of a deeper dive. So what are you going to wear? You don't want to think about what you're going to wear the day of. When I had to hire my stylist, one of the things that she told me is I had to learn to dress for the occasion, because I was one of those people that would just put on whatever was clean and comfortable and kind of wear it everywhere. That's not appropriate, ladies. It doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money, but you want to put some thought into minding the dress code. We talk about that in our finishing school. And if you don't know, ask, okay? Don't just show up in what you think is Sunday best and you look out of place. So make sure you know what you're going to wear. And like Sarah says, plan it down all the way down to the accessories. So she says here, have 1 to 2 outfits that make you look confident in those situations. So one of the other things that I've learned, ladies, Again, a lot of this is preparation. So make sure that you have, let's say, something that would fit Sunday best, something that would fit black tie, something that would fit a cocktail party. You don't need a whole wardrobe of gowns, but you do need those outfits. So when you get that invite, you're instantly ready to go and you know what shoes and earrings and bags go with it. The other tip that she gives here is take pictures. So you can take a picture of that complete outfit. When I have an event, my stylist will come help me and she'll put everything on a hanger, including like clipping on the earrings onto the hanger and everything. And she holds it up and I take a picture of it. She'll put the shoes on the floor. So when I'm packing or the day of, I'm not scrambling trying to put something together. I'm like, okay, I need this, and this. So if you take time now, ladies, to prepare, you will have your look together. And why is this important? Not only that you show up looking good, you feel comfortable too. And when you feel comfortable, you're more pleasant. It's easier to make conversation because you know your outfit is done and dusted. What would you add, Lucy?
And again, that is not something that you do every day all the time, but it's kind of, it takes practice. The first time that you decide that you're going to be, networking like that, just have a kind of like a uniform. If it's going to be something like a cocktail party, have that cute little black dress with a simple, a set of shoes and, simple earrings, a nice necklace, a nice watch. And the more simple you are, the better it is. It's better to be elegant and sophisticated than with an explosion of things on you. So I think that you can create your uniform of going out, whether it's a cocktail party, whether it's maybe a casual dinner. Just have those items that you can grab on and test them out and take a picture and see how you look.
Yes, absolutely. And I love what Lucy said about test it out. All right, ladies, this is not the time. We're talking about being that party master. Okay. So this is not the time to bring out the new shoes that you've never worn before. Sarah talks about that. This is not the time to experiment with a brand new lipstick or hair color or anything like that. Just be a little bit more elevated version of yourself so you can stand out for the right reasons. All right, let us continue on. So we want to avoid the day of stress. All right. So social media is a big part of being social. We talk about this in the finishing school, not only for events, but like I said, when you are invited to these events, people are sometimes exchanging business cards. If it is a business event, sometimes you may run into an investor, a potential boss, a potential, husband or wife. You just never know. And her advice in this ebook guide is to scrub your social media of any of those things you all know. If you wouldn't want your mother to see it, don't have it out there. So if you have any of these type of crazy pictures and selfies, it's time to let it go. Remember, we talked about having that personal brand and you want to show up consistently, especially ladies, those of you all who want relationships. One of the number one things men look for is consistency. And the modern world that we live in, when you meet somebody, one of the first places they're going to go is to look you up online. Now, if you don't have a profile, that's fine too. But if you do, just make sure that it represents you in a way that you want to be remembered either before the event, if you're going to be introduced to someone, or after the event, if you've made an elegant impression and then they look you up online and you are in an unattractive pose. All right, don't do it, ladies. What would you add, Lucy?
And it's also that mystery that you give the other person when they're looking for something and you're not in social media. They're going to say, wow, that is somebody that is different from all the other ones that I have met. So that little difference would make you stand out from all the other ones.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Love to know you all's thoughts. Let us know if there's any questions that you have, if you have any phobias about this time of year, if you're slowly melting already because you know that holiday partying is coming. You do not want to go. I'll go for you. Okay. You didn't ask me that. Let us continue. All right, so eliminating distractions. Again, we want to talk about preparing for these social network events. Ladies, your hygiene is a huge part of being a feminine woman. Okay, so make sure that you've taken care of those things. You don't just want to go, like my man says, smelling like all day. We shouldn't have to say it, but ladies, when you are around people, we are animals, we are primal, right? So it is important that you show up clean and groomed and smelling nice. You're going to be shaking hands. I call it shaking hands and kissing babies, right? You're going to be around people. I work in tech and I do work from home. I get up and put myself together every day. But unfortunately, a lot of tech people can just kind of let themselves go because they're in front of the computer all the time. I don't think that's okay, but especially when we have these end of year events, you want to make sure that you put that extra effort into it because when you're meeting people for the first time, whether it's for the first time ever or it's the first time in person, maybe they've only been interacting with you virtually, you want that to be a good impression. So ladies, take care. And again, this comes to time. So be sure that you're moisturized, your hands are, great for shaking hands. Make sure you've taken care of, any grooming, make sure all of that kind of stuff is done, mints, deodorant, whatever you need to do. And like she says, make sure your shoes are comfortable. You're probably going to be doing a lot of standing at these events. Unless it's a dinner party, maybe you're going to be sitting, but usually at these type of networking events, you're going to be greeting people. So from head to toe, you want to make sure that you feel comfortable and others around you feel comfortable. So ask a close friend, a trusted friend. They will let you know if you need to take care of anything before you go around people, because you would just hate for people to be talking like, man, she needs to put some deodorant on. You don't want that. What would you add, Lucy?
And I love the part that she talks about having comfortable shoes. You don't want to be the one at the party that's standing in a corner rubbing your feet because your shoes are killing you. That one person might remember you by saying, "Oh yeah, remember that was the one that took her shoes off because she couldn't walk after she was wearing them." Again, it's that branding. How do people see you? Make sure that you're comfortable. I mean, there are beautiful comfort shoes that you can wear, or there are those that I think that they come in a little bag, and they're flats that you can bend and whatever, and you can have them in your purse as maybe an alternative once the party is kind of shutting down. You can wear those and change them over the high heel shoes.
That is such a good point, ladies. I have seen it in parties and I just cringe. I have seen it at events. I go into the city. I love the fine art. So I'll go to the symphony or the ballet. And how sometimes you have to park on the street and you may have to walk a little bit to go to the venue. And I have seen women take their shoes off and they're holding them and they're barefoot walking through the parking garage. Ladies, that is not a good look. If you cannot comfortably wear the heels for the event, or like Lucy said, those little ballet slippers, you can buy them everywhere, those little packable ballet slippers, it would just be better for you to find a shoe that is appropriate and matches your outfit. I am the queen of the flats. I love a pointed flat, gives you a little bit of, elongation of the leg. I had to learn what that is, but just make sure that if you're going to wear high heels, you have practiced them. Sarah even has a course. She taught us in the finishing school. She has this course, How to Walk in Heels. And again, you can use code Maggie20 for 20% off this ebook and anything in her shop. I have put the link in the description because it really is important. Like Lucy said, these are not events that we go to all the time. I'm not going to sit here and act like we're socialites. We are not. But sometimes you can kind of get rusty on these skills, or if you're invited somewhere, this is something that you can have to brush up your memory and make sure that, like Lucy said, you are remembered for the right reasons. All right. So don't be the lady walking barefoot. Don't do it. All right. So now she talks about some confidence superchargers. This is also something that I had to learn, those extras that just make you feel really good. Now, when you're going to a special event, I think you should still look like yourself, but maybe a little bit elevated version of yourself. Lucy and I had our photos done last year at the finishing school graduation. And so we went and got our makeup done professionally, but we were sure to tell the makeup artist that we want a natural look, a little bit glamorous, but a natural look. Same thing with your hair, your nails. You can go get a facial, you can go get some pampering, but you don't want to, like Lucy said, show up as an explosion. This is not the time to wear those ridiculous eyelashes. We had some on for the photos, but you want to still represent yourself and not have people saying, "Who is that? Oh, I work with you? I had no idea you look that way." On the flip side, doing a little bit something that just kind of make you feel good gives you that confidence. Maybe if you need it to go up to people and greet them and feel good about how you look. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree, and that's just that one additional extra that will build up that confidence and may want to have you look forward to the event once you look yourself put together, because you're not going to waste all of that and stay home. You're going to have to use it and go out somewhere and show it off for your husband or your significant other for him to be proud of, what he's got next to him.
I absolutely love that. So for those of you all that are a little bit shy, maybe a little bit introverted, doing a little something, maybe getting a manicure, just something to make you feel a little bit confident can help, like Lucy said, give you that boost when you're going to be around all these people. All right. So you can think of what makes you feel your best, ladies. What gives you confidence when you're out and about and meeting people? Or do you really just want to stay home underneath your blanket? All right. So the next section that she talks about is the resting mad face, as Lucy calls it. And I know we laugh about this, but ladies, this is something very important that you want to pay attention to, not only at events, but all the time. So as she says here, we all have a neutral face. We all have a face, and we can practice it. We'll practice it in just a minute. Faces that have RBF had scientifically double the amount of hidden emotions and micro expressions. All right, so let's talk about this, ladies. Like I said, we are all primal. We are all humans, and humans have evolved, if you will, to need to be able to determine instantly if someone approaching is friend or foe. That's how we've, been protected and stayed in communities. So your body language, and Sarah is an expert on body language. I take all of her master classes, highly recommend them. But a big part of that is your face, ladies. And if you are at a cocktail party and you're standing there in the corner with your drink, and you just kind of look like, it's not warm and welcoming. And you could be one of those people that's just like, "Oh yeah, well, I'm nice once you get to know me." Nobody's really going to swim over broken glass and climb the tower walls just to get you to say, "Hello, happy holidays." And again, like Lucy said, if you're with your man or your significant other, this could be his colleagues. This could be, his boss. This could be his company where he wants to maybe get promoted or get a special assignment, and he's there with you looking how you look. So I would say if you can't be pleasant, don't go and bring people down. If you know that you have a shorter, time frame when you can be pleasant, I got 2 hours, then you need to make an elegant exit, that's fine. What I teach ladies to do, if you completely relax your face, you will know what your neutral face looks like. That's my neutral face. So you can do this in the mirror, and I would encourage you to make different faces and smile. I know I have a big toothy smile. That's not always appropriate, but you can just lighten your face a little bit when people are talking and do like a partial smile, or kind of give a little bit of a nod, or just something that shows that, No harm here. I'm interested to get to know you. I'm happy to be here. Even if you have to fake it a little bit till you make it, but that leaves a huge impression with people. So if you have one of those faces that people are always asking you, what's wrong with you? Why are you mad? And you're like, I'm not mad. That is your feedback, ladies. That is your cue. You can choose to do something about it or not. What would you add, Lucy?
And start practicing every day before you leave work. Look at your face, your neutral face, and then maybe add just a little bit of a smile and stay with that smile. And I'm telling you, people will react differently when they see that slight change on your face. It's going to make a huge difference.
Could not agree more. All right, let's see what you all are saying in the chat. Feel free to ask your questions or comments. I saw you all on Instagram talking about Lucy's communication with her husband. I love that. Just a little on the back, like, okay, baby, I think I've had enough now. On the other hand, I would probably be the person that they'd be like, all right, Maggie, let's go. Oh my God, I'm embarrassed. Not really, but our youngest son, is in an all boys military school, and every year they have a mother and son dance. And we're coming up on it again. And I remember the first year we went, I was having a good time. And he looked at me and he said, Mom, we're the only ones still on the dance floor. And I was, oh, but every song is my song. And I could not help myself. And I was just doing it. Okay. So, sometimes you're that person. I'll put myself in the hot seat that is like, enough, lady. Just be self-aware. Let us continue. I'm always telling on myself, y'all. All right. So check your face, ladies. Take some time in the mirror, use your phone, record yourself and look back. Introduce yourself. Say, hi, I'm Maggie. Look at how you look before you go out there and wonder why nobody wants to talk to you. All right. So again, some of this stuff is just your natural biology. Maybe your eyes may look, a little bit shifty. Maybe you kind of curl your mouth down, or as you age, you don't realize that you're starting to get a little bit of that. I notice when I completely relax my face, you'll start to see, a little bit of that. So just be mindful of it, ladies. You can age gracefully, but we want to give you these tips so that you can enjoy and be enjoyable. So she's got some techniques for you in the ebook. Engage your cheeks, like Lucy said, have a slight smile. Practice different smiles in the mirror. Practice them on your phone. A full smile, a partial smile, or sometimes just a slight smile goes a long way to, be engaging and disarm people who may be considering, do I want to walk across the room and talk to that lady over there, right? If your eyes kind of go down, she says, lower your chin and look up instead. All right. Makes your eyes look bigger and brighter. Practice this, ladies. You don't want to go to these places and look awkward. But I think that we have lost the art of having a conversation. We have lost the art of flirting. We have lost the art of just making eye contact. So what I tell my students and the ladies that I consult with, practice. If you are an introvert and you won't go to a holiday party all the time, I like to say once a month, but even if you do once a quarter, find an activity that you feel comfortable. If you remember at the beginning of the ebook, she listed out several different environments. What I tell my consults is find a place where you fit in, right? So if you're a nerd, maybe it's a tech conference. If you are a fine arts lover, maybe it's a museum gallery. If it's, pick a place. If you're a workout buff, maybe it's, some type of, physical event or class. Why? Because you're already going to be in a comfortable environment. And when you're in an environment where you kind of feel like I can thrive here, you're already more relaxed, which means you're going to be more open to talking to people. These conversation skills can get rusty if you don't practice it. So maybe 4 times a year. Find a free event in your area. Go and just meet somebody. I consult with one woman. She was so petrified to go to events. I said, your job is to go meet 2 people that you didn't know before, spend 3 to 5 minutes talking to them, learn their name and one thing about them. That is it. That is a success for you. So try, and by the time you're invited to a bigger event, you will feel more at ease because you would have been practiced. What would you add, Lucy?
And also, you don't really need to go to those special places. Every day, you are looking at people. If you go to the supermarket, look at people and say, hi, good morning. Just say hello to people. With the person that's arranging the fruits or the vegetables at the supermarket, have eye contact, appreciate them for what they're doing, and ask them, do you know where the carrots are? Do you know where the tomatoes are? And have them feel like they are being helpful. That's what starts your conversational juices going. And then again, I'm thinking about single ladies, that man that could be watching you from far away, you talking to the person that's arranging the carrot or just asking for questions, that could give him like the in and say, oh, she looks friendly. Let me go buy the onions and see if I can talk to her once she goes around the corner. So again, it's those opportunities that you can grab on an everyday situation for people to say, wow, she's nice. Let me go talk to her.
Yes, absolutely. I'm not seeing too many comments in here, so I don't know if you guys are commenting. Let me know. I'll have to refresh my screen. But I love what Lucy is saying about your everyday environment. If you go to the coffee shop, if you go anywhere, any restaurant, practice making eye contact. Slow down and just greet people. Here's the tip, ladies, especially those of y'all with the sour face. Men watch us, and they watch us for a while before they approach, because they know they can't just say, ooh, I like her, let me go talk. We're going to say they're creepy. They're going to be shouted down and shamed. So men are looking for those signals. Like Lucy said, is this woman friendly? Even if she's spoken for, will she at least be kind to me, right? Or is she going to yell at me in this grocery store and then people are going to think I'm doing something to her? So it is really important when you have those conversations, when you have those interactions with people that you're not interested in and they're not interested in you. You may just be asking for directions or where the vegetables are, that this is a time when you can practice showing up pleasant so that people have a reason to go across the grocery store or across the room and talk to you. All right, let's see what else Sarah is saying. All right, so we talked about your face and different things that you can do. Practice your handshake. Ladies, this is important. We talk about this in the finishing school, but greetings are appropriate. Now, here in the West, in the US and Western countries, a handshake is important. So you want to get comfortable doing that. Now, I know during the pandemic, some people weren't shaking hands. And if you just, I know somebody that doesn't want anybody to touch them, okay, that's fine. Oh, thank you so much. I am just Jules. Looking forward to the playback. Really enjoy watching these. We appreciate the super chat, but honestly, I thought my comments were frozen because it's been pretty quiet, which is fine. Some of y'all are watching from the clouds, hopefully taking notes, but we appreciate it. This is our calling to give back. Okay, so we were talking about the handshake. So ladies, if you're going to go to these events, you're going to be meeting and greeting people, all right? So you want to know if it's a family event, maybe it's in-laws, maybe it's a holiday party at someone's home, maybe you're hugging, maybe you're doing the, air kisses on the cheek. If it's a company party or a business event or a fundraiser or networking, you may be exchanging business cards, you may be shaking hands. So you want to be prepared. You want to know what's culturally appropriate, and you want to practice. So a good handshake, yes, thank you so much. A good handshake is not too hard and not too soft. It's just right. And the history, one of the things that I love learning about the history of etiquette, back in the past, when men were armed, shaking hands or extending your hand was a sign to say, I am unarmed, I come in peace. Remember, I said a lot of this is primal. We don't even know why we do these things. So when you shake hands with someone, number one, make sure you're standing. Make sure you make eye contact and your grip is firm. It shows a confidence. It shows a also like a vulnerability, and that skin to skin contact you'll see in in Sarah's book. It releases oxytocin, which just means it helps us to bond with people. All right. So just knowing this before you go places, so you're not just like, oh, hi, oh, you don't want to look like the weird person. All right. If you can't go with the flow, I would say don't go. It would be better to just send your regrets than to be that person that's just like, all right. So keep your hand free, make eye contact, take your sanitizer, do whatever you have to. But that's a big part of networking. What would you add, Lucy?
What I would say is don't get yourself comfortable just saying your regrets or saying no to things. Push yourself to getting into those uncomfortable situations, because that's the way you will learn. Again, I learned so much from my previous boss a long time ago. He was the one who told me, Lucy, you need to get into teaching because you're going to be able to speak to people. And because he knew he's an introvert too. So he was the one who pushed me into doing things that made me so uncomfortable, but it allowed me to practice and not feel as awkward or just uncomfortable in situations that I would have been okay saying no to. But again, don't feel comfortable saying no to everything, because then you're still going to be that weird person that you're not going to be around other people. You're going to be awkward in social activities. So again, push yourself into going to those situations. Time yourself. I can be there for a couple of hours and then I will, tell the host that I have another event coming and I have to go. Just get an exit strategy, but make yourself go to those situations, because that's the only way you can learn to be a little more personable.
Such great advice. And I'm so glad. Aren't we so thankful for Lucy's former boss? Because now she is one of the best teachers, my court appointed chaperone, and our favorite introvert, because we need Lucy. We love Lucy. I love Lucy. But yes, ladies, now some of us, came out of the womb just shaking hands and kissing babies. But if you know that's not you, I agree. Push yourself. And you, like Lucy said, you have these everyday moments to get better at it and you won't feel as awkward. Here's the other thing, ladies. All of y'all want this high value man. I'm going to tell you, if you are going to be in a relationship with a man who is on his purpose, he has a network. Okay. Even if he is, I think we're going to talk about our everyday hardworking men coming up in the wife archetypes class. But ladies, if you hitch your wagon to a man at any phase of his life and he is upwardly mobile or he has made himself, he has a network of colleagues, of family, maybe church people, maybe he is philanthropic. He sits on a board somewhere. He mentors people. These are the type of men that are established. And if you want to be with someone like that, their wife, their woman is the feminine asset to his brand. So if you have a man that is sought after, if you have a man that others come to for advice, you can't be that goofy girl in the corner who doesn't know how to be gracious, who doesn't know how to meet people, who doesn't know how to be welcoming. All right. So if you have any of those little nervous tics, or you, like my man said, laugh like a horse and start slapping people, you need to know that that's not appropriate. I don't do that, but y'all, that's how he talks to me. If you know you snort or you have these weird things, now is the time to make sure that you bring it into control, especially in mixed company. When you're home and you're with your friends, fine. But we want to make sure that our ladies, our students are prepared. Okay. So, and you don't want to wait until that man is vetting you. And then he says, I have a black tie event, or we have a social, or we have something, and you're looking like a deer in the headlights because you don't know how to act. Lucy and I can help you with that, but definitely prepare, ladies. All right, let's go back in. So practice your handshake, and I would say practice all of your greetings, all right, and know what you're comfortable with, all right? All right, so we talked about the handshake. Make sure she gives some really good tips on how to have a proper handshake. You don't want to have too aggressive, and you don't want to be too weak. All right, so practice that. Not too soft, not too hard. Make sure you have eye contact. I would say not only during the handshake, but when you greet people, try to look them in the eye. That's another primal thing that we do that kind of shows that, I come in peace, right? She has another tip here about having a networking buddy. If you're somebody who can work the room by yourself, that's fine. But Lucy says, she kind of coordinates with her husband before they go. Ladies, if you're single, you can go with a friend. You can kind of, how is it? You know, break apart, come back together, set a time when it's like, okay, check on me. If I look like I'm blinking fast and slow, come rescue me. You can plan these types of things so you're not just out there figuring it out. And then she says, give yourself a little pep talk if you need to. Now, you can give yourself the sports pep talk, but whether it's a real pep talk or just having a plan, like, okay, I'm going. I want to make sure that I speak to the VP, the CEO, and my boss at the company party. I'm going to give myself a couple hours. I'm just going to have one drink, do one dance, bring a gift, and that's a good night for me. So kind of plan these things before you go. Whenever you ladies see someone that is effortlessly elegant or someone that just seems to have it all together, it is not an accident. These are skills that are taught, practiced, and refined. So when they are executed, it just looks seamless. What would you add, Lucy?
And in parties, if they have free drinks, just make sure you limit the drinks to one, the most two. I would say just don't drink at all, because again, there are people watching you. And if you're going to your significant others or your husband's environment, the boss could be watching that behavior, and that could hurt his, next raise, his next promotion. Just err on the side of just be more conservative rather than, oh, free drinks, we can have it all.
That is such a good point, ladies. I have seen it. You all have seen it. Free food, free drinks, and people act like they haven't eaten all year. It is so embarrassing. We have a whole section in the finishing school. Again, registration is open. We only teach it twice a year. You all can join us in January. We'll teach it again. Go to teachablemomentswithmaggie.com. We will be having our huge graduation celebration, and a very generous sponsor sending us on a yacht cruise where we can practice some of these things in our environment. And we talk about how ladies should prepare in detail for these events. But I agree. If you know you are a lightweight, and even if you can tolerate your liquor, like Lucy said, this is not the time. Oftentimes, ladies, people observe how we act in these environments. When there is an open bar, when there is a buffet of the cocktail shrimp, this is not the time to indulge in everything. Maybe a glass of wine with a meal, or maybe a welcome champagne, or like Lucy said, you don't have to drink at all. But what you don't want to do ever is get sloppy drunk or be that person that's stuffing extra food in their bag. You will be remembered for years to come as that person with the bad behavior, and your man, it could cost him dearly. Don't do this to your husband. Maybe you eat a little something before you go. If they offer you something, you can have a little bite or two, but this is not the time to embarrass yourself with indulging. Take it from the person who likes to eat. You don't do that out there and embarrass yourself. All right, so we talked about having a plan, having a little bit of a pep talk. So we're here for the party. All right, now for the main event. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh my goodness. Time has just flown by. Let me just go through some of these. A lot of it is preparation. All right. So she talks about where to stand at the event, where to greet people, places that have a lot of foot traffic, or where you can kind of position yourself in the room. All right. So places to avoid. You don't want to be like right at the bar or right at the food area, because that's where people are kind of doing their transactions or the coat check. Give people time to arrive, give people time to kind of put up their coat, maybe get their drink or get their plate of food, and then you can start to socialize. All right. You don't want to pounce on people as soon as they hit the door, and you don't want to be tucked away in the back where nobody's going to see you. All right. Especially if you know you can't stay long, try to find a prominent place where you can see and be seen. Bring a gift. We talk about this in the finishing school. If you are ever invited to someone's home for the first time, bring a little something, just something. It could be a book, it could be some hand soap, something that can be used at the event, but you don't just want to show up empty handed. If you're going to an event that's at a venue, make sure you thank the host. So if this is paid for by the company or someone's putting it on together, say, oh, this was a lovely event. Thank you so much for having me. What would you add, Lucy?
And be thoughtful about that gift that you bring. You don't want it to be so small that it's going to be insignificant, but you also don't want to show off with something amazingly expensive, because again, other people are watching, and you just don't want to be that show off, coming in with a Cartier watch or a bracelet to give to the host. So again, just be mindful about the occasion, and whether it's business or it's personal, just do your research and find out why are the best gifts to take to such and such occasion.
I love that. I absolutely love that. So yes, do your research. Some gifts would be a little bit too intimate, right? You wouldn't bring somebody a fragrance or maybe something that you made from home unless you know them well. All right. So we talked about eye contact. We talked about, okay, bring a gift. Make sure you make eye contact, especially when you're meeting people. And then names. I know this is tough for a lot of people. You may forget names, but really listen to people, and they say the key is if someone tells you their name, try to repeat it back immediately. So if I say, oh, hi, my name is Maggie. Maggie, it's a pleasure to meet you. But it's just repetition. If you ever forget someone's name, what I tell ladies to do, because it happens, you don't want to, stumble and act like you didn't forget. You don't want to just say, what was your name again? That kind of shows a little bit of disrespect because you weren't paying attention. What you can say is, please remind me your name. And then immediately say it back, because that at least acknowledges that they have said their name, and you're just asking them to repeat it kindly. All right. It happens to all of us. It's not the end of the world, but don't start beatboxing like it didn't just happen. All right. Small talk. I know sometimes people are like, oh, why do I have to talk about it? You can talk about the weather. You can talk about whatever you want to. But here's the thing. She gives some good tips here. The takeaway, ladies, is especially when you're meeting somebody for the first time, when you're with your family, and we talk about this in the finishing school, you can talk about whatever. There are some topics that you want to avoid, of course, religion, politics, and, anything that could be divisive. That's the key. All right. When you're in these type of events, you want to think about things that bring people together. You are networking. You're trying to make a good impression. So think about the things that you have in common. What do you have in common? Have you been to this venue before? How do you know the host? Or topics that are always good to get people to open up: restaurant or dining, any good restaurants or any good recipes you've tried lately, dining, travel, anything that is kind of like a passion project for people that is neutral is a great conversation starter. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree. And again, those conversation starters, that small talk for us, again, it's really painful. So those tips that you're saying are good reminders for for anybody that goes out there that needs that little push to be able to open up a little bit in those venues or in those events.
Yes, and here's a tip for you introverts. If you are, if you struggle making conversation, ask other people about the topics you feel comfortable talking about, right? So if you are someone who likes sports, but you're kind of a shy person, ask other people when you're talking to them, what's your favorite team, or have you been watching the game or whatever. That way you're starting it with a topic that you feel comfortable adding to. That's a topic that you feel comfortable kind of lighting up about. If it's me, I'm always going to ask, what's your favorite type of cuisine? Any good restaurants you can recommend? Because you won't be able to shut me up when it comes to food. So that's a little takeaway for those of you all who may be a little bit like, what do I talk about? Start with what you feel comfortable with. Let's see what else Sarah has to say, and then we will wrap this up. Again, this is the Party Master's Guide. Hopefully this is helpful, especially for those of you all who may be introverts, maybe you're a little awkward at events. She's got some really good tips in here. You can ask about the wine. She says, be a detective, not in a stalking way, but if people drop little hints about something, that's an invitation to go a little bit deeper, respectfully, right? Listen well. So if someone says, oh, I just got back from a cruise. Really? How was that? I've heard good things about it. How would you compare cruising to a resort vacation? So don't just kind of like blow past it. Try to listen to what people say. People love talking about themselves and their experiences. And this, especially if you're an introvert and you don't like talking as much, you can ask those open-ended questions and let them do the talking. But listen for the hints that they drop, and then you can continue to fish for more in a respectful way. What would you add, Lucy?
I agree. And we introverts are great listeners. So if you can find those questions that will have that other person talk about themselves as much as they can, I guarantee you that the next time that person talks about you, they're going to say, wow, she sat with me and she listened to, and we had a great conversation. Even if it was a monologue, she's going to think that it was the most amazing conversation you had because you were listening. And, you're gathering information for perhaps the next time when you see them again. Maybe they're in a higher position than you. You can bring back those things that you remember that she talked about, and that will be the connection in the future.
I love that. And for those of us that are chatterboxes, ladies, this is what men do to us. They just ask one question and we just, and before you know it, you're like, oh, I've been talking for 10 minutes. And the men like, mine will be, I just let you run. You'll come back eventually. So that's a little tip because that's what works on us. All right, let's see what else that she has here. So we talked about conversation and listening. Again, if you're a little bit nervous, here's another tip. Stay close to the host or ask the host, is there anybody at this party that I should kind of be aware of? All right. So if you're nervous about meeting people on your own, when you go to greet the host, say, hey, let me know if you know anybody that would be good for me to talk to, or kind of stay in eye shot of the host at the event. So as people are mixing and mingling, she'd be like, oh, have you met Maggie? And kind of feed people to you. All right. So you're not just standing there like a bump on the log, wonder, what do I do and who do I talk to? So again, a really great guide, highly recommend it. We wanted to give you all some highlights here, but Sarah's got some great tips for you. Ladies, ditch the phone. This one right here is terrible body language. It would be better if you're at an event and you just had it maybe to go outside and just go get some fresh air, or if you had to sit in the corner with an actual book. But this, it is so unattractive and so off-putting, because here's the thing, ladies, you might be bored, but nobody's going to stop and come be like, oh, I haven't seen you here before. How do you know the host? Yeah. Okay. Put the phone away, put it on silent. You'll be okay for a couple of hours. I still exchange with business cards, but the phone is just such a turn off when people are trying to have an actual conversation. That message will wait, that social media notification will wait. Try to be present. And then when you leave, you can get caught up on all of that. What would you add, Lucy?
And again, it's going to make you a different than all of the other ones that are looking at their phone. If you're just sitting there and enjoying the party, and even if you're by yourself, standing or sitting somewhere and you're smiling and you're just looking around, and this happened to me in Miami with my extroverted sisters, and I'm the only introvert. We went to this party somewhere where it was chaos everywhere. So I found a little spot in the corner with a little round table, and I was just sitting there, just smiling and watching and looking at people, going by, and people would come to my table. Hi, can I put this over here? And then it was that friendly kind of thing. No, go ahead, leave it here. I'll take care of it. People will come to you when you're not going on your phone, and when you show that just happy to be here, even if you're alone, that's great.
Such a great tip. And those of you all who don't feel comfortable approaching others, what Lucy did is perfect for the introverts. So find a place where you feel comfortable, kind of have your post, but you're still in the mix. People can see you, and just having that, what do we talk about? That pleasant disposition. So again, practice, look in the mirror, record yourself speaking, and see if you just look like you are ready to go, or if you actually are engaging, and just kind of smile. Maybe if there's music playing, you're just kind of, enjoying, just happy with yourself. It is amazing how other people will come check on you. Other, wait staff or the host will be like, oh, is everything okay? They will just kind of just be drawn to you because you look happy to be there. I'm telling y'all, it works wonders. And you never know, that gentleman who might be, a little bit quieter may approach you because you look like, it's just wonderful where you are. Or not. Let's see what else Sarah has to say. So put your phone away, ladies. We talked about the body language. This is where Sarah is a perfect teacher. So I'm going to let you all read this on your own, but your posture is huge. Your body language is a language. It communicates a lot about you. All right. She talks about introducing people to bringing people together in introductions. Ladies, I would also practice your own introduction. All right. So when people come to meet you, hi, I'm Maggie. Oh, Maggie, you're not really supposed to ask what do people do, but if have a few things that you feel comfortable talking about yourself. What are your passions? What are your hobbies? Some things that you may not lead with it, but if people ask you, you have a few topics that you can, draw people to: your travel, your passion projects. So you're not just like, oh yeah, I work in customer service on the second floor. Okay, that got awkward really fast. Like, do you have a pulse? Hello, is anybody there? Take it from your extrovert. I see these people and I don't want you all to be these people. All right. So make sure you have some things in your back pocket that you're ready to talk about, whether you're introducing yourself or being introduced. We talked about finding things that bring people together. All right. So there are things that we all have in common. And then I love this, what Lucy said, that superpower. Ladies, our feminine superpower is being helpful, is being useful. All right. So if you're not much of a talker, see what you can do. If someone says, oh my gosh, I'm new to this area, she says, offer a recipe. I love that. But, oh, you know what? There's a great Christmas parade, the second Saturday of every month. You can check it out at the town square. Have some information. So if you listen to people and they're talking, this is a great skill, ladies. It's not just being cute. Find a way to be useful. Find a way to be helpful. If you have information, if you have a skill set that will help people remember you for the right reasons, or like Lucy did, Just be the person. Sure, you can leave your bag here. Sure, no problem. I'll watch it while you go dance every song on the dance floor. Maggie, yes, go. We will be right here. What would you add, Lucy?
And that goes back to also being aware, situational awareness, making sure that you know where you are, making sure that you're looking at people in the eye, making sure you just, again, being aware of your surroundings and paying attention. You know, my husband, he would have a heart attack if he knew that I'm out there not paying attention and looking at things without, just being aware of the world. So again, and then again, for ladies that are looking for that special person might be looking at you and you're going to be looking out, and then you're going to lock eyes. And then that's going to be the opportunity to say hi. And then that's the opening. That's your handkerchief throwing. And he's going to come and pick it up and start that conversation. That's all it takes for you to have that, welcoming face, lock eyes, and say, "Ooh, that's the guy I like, and he likes me. Hi." That's all it takes.
That's all it takes, ladies. I'm the one. Shoot your shot. Just be friendly. You never know where it's gonna go. Oh, are you here with anyone? And the rest is history, ladies. Your opportunity. So many of you miss the opportunities. My man will tell you, like, you may have just a few minutes and then he's passed on because you were looking like your feet hurt. And he was like, do I even want to try? No, this lady over here is smiling. Let me go see what she's about. It happens that fast, ladies. So if you find yourself getting all dolled up and you go and nobody wants to talk to you, it could be the brand that you are putting off. All right. So we talked about being a helper. That's a great way to have people drawn to you. The details, we talked about listening to people and maybe following up if you're interested in having a connection with somebody that you meet at one of these events and they say, oh yeah, you know what, for the holidays, we always go to, I don't know, Aspen, Colorado, because it's beautiful snow. Maybe the next time you see them, oh, how was Aspen this year, right? It's a great way to stay connected. It shows that you care, you are paying attention if you want to make that type of impression. And then to close it out, like we said, you bring a gift if you are at a house party, but definitely thank the host. I would say, some people still like writing thank you notes, but before you leave an event, you don't just come, eat, drink, and be merry and go home. Take time to find either the host of the event, or if it's a company event, whoever the senior person is or your manager, and just say thank you. Just say thank you for having me. This was wonderful. Even if you didn't like the food, they didn't have to have a holiday party at all. So be gracious and say thank you. And then follow up if you want to stay connected. Maybe you've exchanged business cards at a networking event. This is another reason why listening for those little details, it's an in to go ahead and follow up and connect with someone. All right. So if you felt a little awkward in the moment, but you heard them say that they just came back from Italy or that's one of their bucket list countries, that's a great way to open up a reconnection. And then think about how you did. All right. Analyze, did I meet at least one or two new people? What could I have done better? Did I just blow past and forget everybody's name? Or did I actually remember to shake hands? How did I feel? Was it an environment that I thrive in, neutral? Or did I feel like I was in survival mode? She's got some questions there you all can ask yourself about all of the things that we covered. So, Lucy, what would you add as we close out?
Again, this is something that you don't have to try it all at once. It's baby steps, especially if you're an introvert and you're trying to get yourself out there in the world. Just try a couple of those tips and see how it works. I bet you if you try one or two, you're going to feel more comfortable to try two more the next time. It's just baby steps. And later on, you're going to be much more comfortable being in an environment that's really not your environment, but you will be comfortable enough to spend a couple of hours within that environment.
Wonderful. I see you on Instagram. You said you love the tips. I'm glad this is helpful. We definitely want to give you all some tangible things that you can use. It's that time of year. Whatever you celebrate or not, there's probably going to be some type of event, even if it's an end of year winter celebration that you will go to. And you never know. Someone is always seeing you for the first time. That's what my stylist said, especially in this modern world that we live in. Someone is often seeing you for the first time in person. So see if you can make a positive impression with your brand. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up here. Lucy and I like to come on twice a week for you all, usually Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern. Missed you all last week because I was on the cruise. And then we will be back this coming Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern for another relationship video. So those of y'all who love the relationship content, Lucy has a doozy we will be reacting to after the wife lessons. So again, the code is Maggie20. Sarah's website is thefeminityprojectinc.com, and you can go to her shop. This gives you 20% off the guide that we just went through. I've also put the link in the description. You can get 20% off any of her courses or this ebook. So we're really grateful to be able to review and share this with you all. And again, I have several events coming up in person. If you want to practice this in Atlanta at Neiman Marcus, I will be teaching a dining masterclass. You all can eat while I teach. We can practice a lot of this in person Saturday, December 7th here in Atlanta. Go to teachablemoments.maggie.com and take $50 off for that. You can also upgrade for the spa day we're going to have after. And then again, Lucy and I have the finishing school for the modern woman. We will be teaching that after the new year. That is our flagship course, and you must attend and complete the course to be part of our graduation celebration here in Atlanta. All right, Lucy, anything else to close us out?
Thank you. I am just Jules for the $10 super chat. We appreciate it. And I thank you all for just coming in to our live stream and listening to these fun tips that you can start using on your next event.
Absolutely. So for the man that you want or the man that you have, you can be the elegant feminine asset to his masculine brand. So we will love you all and leave you here. Thank you again, Jules, for the $10. We just love to give back, and that is very generous of you. So we are grateful. And we will see you all Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern to react to another relationship video. Until then, adios. Bye, everyone.